All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this matchup between the Baguettes and Fotia for the CTF League Season 1 playoffs. We're here in the lower bracket after both of these teams have both won and lost games. TB was recently sent down to the lower bracket after a crushing last minute loss to Annihilation. I wouldn't have anything to do with that at the very least. Fotia, on the other hand, riding high after coming off a close win against the Roxorseas in their first lower bracket matchup. They were sent down in the first round after a surprisingly close affair with Olympus, and now they're here to try and show their stuff against another one of the top teams from the regular season of the CTF League. Obviously, TB probably not expecting to be here in this matchup right now, but also definitely from what we've heard of them, not taking Fotia lightly. I think at this point they've shown that they're enough of a force to be reckoned with, that the teams they're playing are going to be taking them seriously. And what that means for TB today is they've got a roster with some of their better players on. We're also seeing the return, notably, of Mike, who wasn't here for most of the CTF League season, but returned for the TB versus Annihilation playoff game. He's now here to play Fotia, and it'll be interesting to see what role he's playing today and what he's looking to do.
Also, hello. I'm personally very excited to see this match. I know people are thinking that TV is going to take this easily, but I'm thinking Fotia is going to put up a good fight, and I'm excited to see how they do, especially on the adrenaline, because I know Tom is one of their stronger offense players, and I know that he can flex onto Elf as well as Chemist. And
Yeah,
seeing how seeing how well Citrix did on adrenaline, with the Fatal Best as Elf, I'm pretty excited to see.
and what do you know? Tom is already on Elf and already crossing the map here. No pressure on him so far as he wins towards BM5 and now past him. Looks like the Pyro has spotted him, but no ninjas are on him as of yet. And Fotia is going to get some players in here on this first push of the game. We're going to have Pi drop through the roof, not picked up by Mike yet, and will be able to get out the back for the first steal of the game. He wall climbs up onto the roof and will be looking to make it to mid, although BM5 and some of TB are pressuring him already. Support immediately there from a Verge, but he wall climbs up right into the waiting embrace of Chickadee, and that's how our first steal of the game ends.
I was looking at TV flag room to see if there was a backup steal. Good job for Border for staying back because Mike did go on recovery.
Yeah, always very important to have that coordination between the Pyro and the Medics. Speaking of which, Orange and Cherry are now facing off against one of TB's first pushes. Coca has made it into the flag room as Chemist, but has taken a lot of damage already. He did briefly get support from Tireless, but Tireless also went down, and Dinger is actually going to clean up that kill onto Chickadee. Sabu gets out briefly, but a nice frenzy from Orange Breaded Duck will take out the Elf, and Pi steals briefly on the other side to no avail.
Oh, Chris is out with the steal. As Elf, he did get the medic regen. I didn't see if he got the restore. He has a bunch of support around him. Oh, there he is getting the restore. There it is. Tom turned around to try and stall him. But it looks like this is a capture unless someone can pull off a miracle.
Yeah, Altsource is out here supporting as well, which is something I know Fotia doesn't exactly like to see. But here, the region he has might be their last chance to give ninjas some additional health. Still, looks like Chris is going to make it into the flag room for the first cap of the game about 2 minutes in. It was a nice steal from him and a good way for TB to take early momentum in this game. All right, we are already back to a little bit of a lull here. I think Chickadee is crossing mid, has run into Azur Loria, and will actually take down the Fotia Ninja here. But still, a lot of offense from Fotia crossing the map. Alt Source is under a lot of pressure right now, but that's going to allow Tom to steal going out front. Tom is going to have support there. Alt Source is still alive, notably, but Tom is getting a lot of pressure here from B2. That's a lot of damage onto the Elf, and he's just not able to take all of it. There is going to be steal on the other side from Coca. We'll wait and see how that goes, but Azur Loria seemingly doing a good enough job here on Ninja taking out Coca.
So Cherry actually did lag out, and she was the defensive medic. So against that push that who was it that Chris had, Orange Duck was all alone in the flag room, and he still managed to take out Chris. I'm assuming that Coca actually dropped Orange Duck because I did see him respawn, and Cherry is back now.
Yeah, Azel came up to support there, but Orange is still going to get a lot of damage off on Sabu. Problem is he had to chase him out of the flag room, so Chris is going to get the backup. He's now routing down towards middle, but Orange getting a lot more damage off. Now, Chris is on 0 hearts and will go down just in time, but Coca is back in the flag room. Cherry actually doing a nice job getting the kill on him there as medic. Also worth noting that Cherry's armor is not showing for me, so I was about to talk about how it was interesting to see her on Ninja, but
Oh, that's like the 4th time that I've seen B2 roam up as Ninja. I don't know what he's trying to do. It seems like he's trying to knock the Pyro away, but he isn't quite coordinated with the rest of his team, so not doing much.
yeah, especially at the start of the game, it's sometimes hard to get the coordination right, as Chris comes in here alone with Dutch following slightly behind, but Chris still taking a lot of damage here. Again, 0 hearts as he makes it out of the flag room. Dutch will get the backup, and he's being chased by Dinger, but he's on 1.5 hearts. Will go down here to Zia, doing a nice job of cutting the soldier off, as Coca's made it back into the flag room, this time with Dutch and, with B2 and Azel supporting. That's going to allow Coca to get the steal, but you would have liked to see them steal with the elf instead, as Coca's already down health pots. He's trying to make it out towards mid. Zia is tailing him, but will go down. And now Coca's made it pretty far. Still no medic there for him yet. Now Kalig is just below him, trying to get the heal off. Coca was down to 2.5 hearts, but has since been restored. Fantastic job there from TB support, getting to their chemist just in time, and that's going to be a second cap.
Tom gets a nice steal as Elf, but TB just captured, so all of the support was in the flag room, so he wasn't going to make it that far. Was a pretty smooth steal as an Elf, though.
Yeah, rough situation to be in there for the offense, and good job of TB just cleaning up the inevitable offensive push that was going to follow that. Azurloria actually taking the fight against Seago there at mid, but does go down after getting some damage off on the bulk soldier. Haynes is going to get a bunch of damage there onto Sabu as well, knocking him down 2 stake, but not too bad of a situation there for the elf. Kalig's actually going to heal off that damage anyways, but we do have a steal from a Verge on the other side briefly, as Fotia is getting multiple people in. Now Pesta's trying to go out towards the side here, getting held up by Chickdee, but actually manages to kill the assassin one-on-one. He tried to make it over to alt source, but the headshots from BM5 were just a little bit too much there. On the other side of things, we are going to get a steal from Coca heading up to mid. Again, he's ahead of the recovery. So it's a pretty tough situation there, going up against Chemist, especially one who just got a restore there from Kalig again, or perhaps that was someone else getting the restore, as he's slowing down for Kalig. I think he's actually only at 2 heal pots right now. Maybe we'll get it now. Looks like a pretty safe situation finally for Coca, and I think he's going to be able to get this 3rd capture here, as again Tom steals just at the wrong moment, trying to prevent TB from capturing.
Honestly, I think that Tom would be able to make it out a little more if Fotia offense were going in at the same time, but like we saw Pi trying to steal a couple seconds after Tom died, and we saw alternate source as medic outside getting absolutely beat up by the ninjas. So kind of hard to stay coordinated with a roaming as good as TV's, but
yeah,
Fotia's doing a pretty good job.
Also a rough spot for recent player of the game, Jada Matal, or Waves, who is taking the one-on-one duel there against BM5 at mid. Probably a situation where BM5 has a bit more experience, as we do have a steal from Kriz on the other side of the map. Looks like he's actually managed to survive for a decent amount of time here on the elf, heading out towards the top of the map. His support's going to be there with him. Kalig actually routing just in the right direction again. We're seeing this as a bit of a trend here from TB. Their support seems to be in the right place after these steals fairly consistently, and that's just going to be another quick capture for TB. It's not even 8 minutes into the game. They're 4-0 up. This is looking pretty dire right now for Fotia if they want to maybe snatch some momentum off of this first map. And immediately, again, another steal here from Sabu, heading out towards middle. The assassin tried to stop him, but he's got support from Kalig and Kriz already. Haynes trying to catch him on the sponge. Again, he's losing time to the sponge here at the middle, going into the roof there. Zia's in front, trying to stall, and actually there is a steal here from Pesto. flag does drop from a BM5 headshot, and unfortunately, the pickup didn't come through there for Tom and the rest of Fotia. That's just going to be a quick 5-0 result, a resounding win for TB. And though they were definitely the favorites going into this match, I think they've shown, even relative to expectations, that they're looking pretty strong here.
Something I want to point out is that Chris actually got MVP, likely due to all the captures. Usually it's a pyro or an assassin, so you can really tell how quickly the offense took advantage of the situation.
Yeah, 5 steals, 2 captures for Chris. Those are pretty good numbers against any team, and Fotia are definitely no slouch by the standards of the teams in our CTF league here. So good showing from him. He's definitely not considered the absolute best offense player on TB, I think based on community perception right now, but maybe he can change that. Good showing from him so far. Also worth noting in terms of major discrepancies in the stat line, BM5, of course, had a good showing in less than half of the map's normal runtime on Archer. 29 and 6 compared to Jaden Matal's 16 and 13. Jaden's still getting some value, definitely, with 8 headshots, but not quite comparable there. And the ninjas were doing a good job there as well in terms of damage dealt. Haynes did manage to get up to about 1,400 damage, or a little less than that, but B2 and Azel, notably, had some pretty high numbers there. B2 sitting at 2142 damage, and then, of course, Azel at 1671. Again, good numbers for a relatively short match. So overall, TB looked dominant in the match. They look dominant on the stats page, and good showing from them so far. Fotia still definitely have a chance to turn things around, and it looks like they'll be whitelisting Bossatom for this next map, which will be interesting to see how he stacks up relative to Islandinger.
Looks like Fotia's map pick is Airlock 1. I wonder how they're going to be performing, especially since TB has notable PvPers on their team.
Yeah, well, we definitely saw them run it against Roxorseas in their match last weekend, and to some success, despite the fact that Rox had just beaten them on a PvP-intensive map, which was Slate 1. So definitely a map where they've got some experience at the very least, and I wonder if they'll have some strategies to use for that map in particular. Alrighty, not a great sign for Bossatom, though, talking about his lag before he's even started playing this map.
With a 2-minute pause, do you think that TB is going to take the 3-0 like they did last map? No captures?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be bullish on Fotia's chances, and I know they've probably prepared something for this match, realistically speaking. But even with that being the case, we saw TB play against Fotia on this map in the tournament before, and I believe that was a 3-0 result that time as well. I haven't seen anything so far this match that would lead me to believe that TB are even going to give up a cap here. So, yeah, probably a 3-0 win for them, unfortunately.
I would have
You love to see competitive games when you can, right?
Yeah, yeah.
TB look like they're in good spirits here, ganging up on Wronger in team chat.
From experience, I can tell you that yes, it is very fun to gang up on Wronger Box.
Well, you've heard it here first. Bloom enjoys bullying players. What are the odds?
Yes, I do. It would be the toxic staff trait that it kind of rubbed off from you. So.
Of course, yeah, no, it's a fair point. I seem to be the all-time watermark for toxic staff members at this point in time. I taught Pudgy well, and I guess I had an influence on others.
Oh yeah, you are definitely my inspiration when it comes to flaming players as a staff member. So. starting in
Well,
15 seconds. Sorry.
yeah. Do want to point out that they also brought Pepe in for this map, and they've decided to stick with Islandinger instead of Bossatom, maybe owing to the lag issue that Bossatom was dealing with. So Pepe, I expect to see playing defensive medic at the start, but maybe it's a sign that we could see the stalemate strategy here at some point from Fotia, as Pepe would be a good archer to have during stalemates to get some of these headshots for Fotia and maybe cheese a capture or two away from TB like that. Already there's a big fight here on top mid, as Fotia's offense seem to mostly be making it across the map pretty free. Notably as well from TB, they've put Lol or Male on Ninja here, a role that you don't usually see him playing, and that might actually be a bit of a weakness relative to some of their regular Ninja players. As we can see here, Pesto has managed to steal and get out across the map, and he does have alt source headed for him around mid. Wronger does have what looks to be a pretty solid steal on the other side, as the death tag damage proves a little bit too much for Pesto, but Averged is able to pick up the flag as everyone else lost track of it. He's heading through the middle of the map right now. Chickdee tries to make it over, but he's not going to be able to, and now Averged is on the home stretch. TB really just needs someone to steal here, but I think Averge is going to be able to walk this one in, and we have an early 1-0 lead for Fotia, immediately disproving my prediction. Fotia actually having a relatively strong start to this game.
TB, you can see that they realized that they didn't pick it up. Kind of unfortunate. If they had recovered that, I don't think Fotia would have gotten the cap.
Yeah, definitely a lucky break in favor of Fotia, and TB are actually stacking members here to try and support Sabu, but he's still on the inside. He hasn't managed to make it out with Elf to the top here, and that's going to allow Jimmy to catch up and get the recovery with Pyro. There's just no chances, unfortunately, for Sabu to wind up onto the top of the airlock building here and maybe have a little more survivability on that Elf. And no, by the way, the flag did not fall through the glass anywhere. It just fell off the side, and TB were looking the wrong direction, as Pesto has another steal here. Does manage to make it to the sponge, but caught there by Mike. Tom's going to get a backup steal here on Chemist. There are a lot of people on him, though, and I don't think his support's going to be there in time. We are going to see Pi attempt a backup here, but he may just end up giving Frenzy back to Mike. In fact, Mike choosing to use the Frenzy there instead of holding on to it on a capture that probably wasn't going to come through Frenzy or not. Big offense push here from TB on the other side. Coca's pretty low, but they may have a backup opportunity here as Fotia have deserted the flag. Looks like Regen did come through, but I'm not sure the restore got onto Coca. Looks like he may have gotten it there from Calig, though, although the death tag is off as well. Chickdee is up to support on the Assassin. That's one thing you do see a lot from TB. Roaming support is one of their hallmarks. Sabu may be looking to try and offer the pass there to Coca, but Pesto has a steal on the other side, perhaps making use of this opportunity where a lot of TB roamed up. He's also at mid, and there's only one Ninja, Male, in front of him right now. He is going to almost take him off the map, though. Chickdee there to support as well. The Pyro's now in on the action. Frenzy comes through, but doesn't manage to get the crucial damage off on Pesto. DT is out now as well. This is a big fight here, but Jimmy is actually up to support his soldier flag holder. Pesto, I think, is going to survive this, and Fotia, no! B2 swaps him off the map at the last second, and I think that's going to be a tie now. Coca's just going to walk this into the flag room, as Fotia were just caught sleeping at the very end of that sequence. What a nice play from B2.
That was very unfortunate for Fotia because they had basically everyone on support. They had the Pyro roam up as well, and they had just thought that they had cleared all the Rika, but no one saw the scout, I suppose. Very good swap from B2.
All right, so now that we're back to a tie 4 minutes in, it'll be interesting to see how these teams adapt. Already, Fotia looking a little stronger on their map pick here than they did on Adrenaline. Maybe that's just a map that doesn't really favor their defense as much as it might otherwise, as Pesto has another steal. Looks like TB are going to get numbers in as well, though, as Dutch picks up the flag, completely blindsiding Jimmy, but this is a heavy flag holder, so he doesn't have nearly as much mobility as some of the other options they might have. He's also heading back towards Fotia's spawn, which means they're going to get respawns in to get damage on him. He's already taken a lot of damage here to the scout. notably, but he's made it over towards mid where the worst is past him, at least for the time being. Pesto tries to reroute to support and get in the way, but it looks like Chickdee was able to take him out, and now Dutch is near the spawn, although he hasn't gotten the medic until just this very moment. Restore is going to come through here, though, as TB's support looks pretty good, as they're able to just kill Fotia's recovery all across the map. Backup steal attempt will be here for Fotia, and Pi does get it, but not quite in time, as that's going to be a second capture for TB. Pi is actually out of the flag room and did get regen here, so he's almost back to full health, but doesn't have stake yet. Looks like he's taking a lot of damage here in this scrum and needs to use his mobility to get away, but he's made it over to the side tunnel, where unfortunately Kalig just gets that crucial damage off. Pepe did roam up to try and get the heal off, but wasn't quite there in time. So unfortunate for Fotia. They've looked very competitive so far, but already TB have 2 of the 3 caps they need to put an end to this match, and that could just be that if they get another cap.
Honestly, I think the capture that they had with Dutch was a bit of a misplay because Dutch had no stake, like, since mid. And he was death tag. At one point, he was only 2 hearts, but there was no ninja or anything to, like, get on him. As I say this, Averse is kind of... Okay, well, he was out, but seems to be rerouting to the Pyro. Does have a bit of support. The medic, I think, was lost in all the commotion.
He's super low health, though. I think he will go down here, and the Assassin kind of neutralizes that anyways. Koka's made it to mid, though, and this time he doesn't have any recovery immediately on him. Looks like the offense is going to try and get in the way. Nice swap back there, I believe, from Jaden. Will stall him, but also take him away from the rest of the recovery that was closing in on Koka. Now he's made it over towards spawn, has a lot of support here, and this should just be game if we don't see a stalling steal here from the side of Fotia. It's not quite going to come through as a Verge gets held up by Mike at the flag, and that's going to be GG. TB taking the 3-0 win over Fotia, although second map definitely did look a little more contested. Dinger, as we saw, a little frustrated maybe after that swap from Jaden, which was good in principle, just managed to take Koka out of the Assassinate, and that's how the cap came through.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but it happens.
All right, so we've already got TB members volunteering for the interview here. Looks like we may bring in Azel. I think Azel would be a wonderful interview guest. So we'll hope to see him on here in the immediate future. But before we get anyone to join here, Bloom, do you have any thoughts for player of the game?
Well, in my opinion, it'd have to be one of the offense players. Last map, we did see Priz or 2008 get many captures, leading to the MVP. And we did see captures here from Koka. The offense was just wiped Fotia defense and was just able to get those quick caps easily.
Yeah, definitely. Both of them do stand out as potential candidates. Dutch also had a capture this map and has looked relatively solid so far. Been a while since he's been in the player of the game category, but Kriz and Koka definitely being favorites. We'll see what chat thinks as well and maybe take that into consideration, assuming they have any suggestions. But I'll take a moment here to figure out the interview situation. Would anyone in call here like to provide a little conversation topic to bridge the time?
I suppose that would be me.
Maybe. I guess everyone else is muted.
I don't know. So update me on the brackets a little bit. DF did win their match against Citrix, so does that mean Delta Force will be facing off the Baguettes next week?
That's correct. Yes, it'll be a rematch of those two teams. DF notably gave TB their one loss in regular season, so a little bit of a spicy rematch there, and interesting to see who will come out on top. And then, of course, next week as well, you'll have Annihilation face off against Olympus for the winners bracket. When those two teams faced off in the regular season, which I believe has been their only meeting in an official match of any kind. Olympus did win 2-0. Annihilation got caps back in every match, but Olympus did look like the stronger team, at least at the time. So it'll be interesting to see if things have changed at all in that match as well. But now we do have our guests here in the call, our wonderful individuals here to be interviewed. And always a fun time interviewing Azel as well. Please welcome Azel and BM5 to the call.
Hey.
Hey.
Congrats,
Oh my
guys,
God.
on your win.
Thank you.
So, how are you guys feeling after that match? It did look pretty decisive, minus that one hiccup where Fotia were able to get their cap. What do you guys feel, though? Did you feel you played well today, or maybe some things to improve on?
I'll pass this question to BM5.
Oh God, I'm here for the sensible answers. Yeah, I mean, there's always things you can pick up on to improve on. Slight miscommunication with the flag pickup there on their cap, but they did well to keep it going and get the cap. But I think overall we did well. Offense is doing very good with multiple capping threats, some of whom don't play too much. So it's nice to get them a few caps as well.
Yeah, and we did see both Ryan and Mike back in today after they had some eventful moments in the TB versus Annihilation match. Is Mike going to be a fixture of future matches? And same question for Ryan.
We hope so. It's the answer. Mike very kindly offered to come back. Well, shout out Red Bull actually got Mike back. Obviously, still very strong pyro. So really glad to have him back, especially after some recent bans. Ryan, yeah, been on the grind a lot, been playing a lot. Very good bulk. Obviously, airlock's his map, so
Ryan
good to have him
sucks.
in. Or that.
Yeah, has Red Bull taken over as the TB leader recently?
Red Bull also sucks.
Red Boo does a lot for us, I think it's fair to say. He's always talking in council chat and stuff. Don't ask how he's in council chat. That predates me. But yeah. He is one of our council at heart, despite not being a member.
Thank you, Azel. And next question is going to be for you as well. You had a pretty one-sided match today, but your next opponent in the tournament is going to be a team that's beaten you already. Delta Force is going to be your opponent. It'll be a rematch of that regular season game where I did hear some TB members talk about being outscheduled rather than outplayed. So what are your thoughts going into that match, and do you think you'll be able to come back and beat DF?
A lot of them are in college right now, so yeah, we can beat them.
Very insightful answer. Thank you.
No problem.
So college is a straight debuff to someone's CTF abilities?
Yes.
All right, well, that's bad news for a variety of teams across the board, I suppose. Anything else here? Well, we do have one question for you guys to end things off that I think you might be a little bit surprised by. But for starters, we did see Fotia play today. They came out, they gave it their best. Obviously, a team that's been getting more competitive throughout the season, but by the looks of it, didn't manage to catch up to the top dogs by the end of things. Was there anything today about them that surprised you or maybe gave you a little bit of trouble?
Nog, do you want this? Or?
I'll pass this question to BM5.
Thought he would. I think not necessarily a shock, but their offense did play well. Obviously got a cap. We've seen Tom flex onto a few more classes recently, gives them some maneuverability there with, for example, his elf on Adrenaline, where Adrenaline is much more of an elf map. So it's good to see, well, not from a TV point of view, but from a neutral point of view, good to see them get a cap on us, because that, I mean, they played overall a lot stronger than they had during our match in the regular season. Obviously, if you remember, they did the rock strat on us on airlock, but this time they actually tried to kind of give us a good game on it, held out for, 10 minutes or something, and got a cap themselves. So there's clear improvement there. And if they keep it up, obviously Tom, very good leader, keeps them organized. They've got a lot of good recruits coming in next season, so I'm sure they'll do even better next time.
Yeah, I guess you probably outgrow the rock strat once you've beaten rocks yourself. So, all right. On a closing note here, we actually haven't come to a consensus on our player of the game.
Hazel.
So we're going to offer you guys a selection of 3 choices
Ooh.
here, and
Okay.
more specifically, I'll give you guys each 1 vote, and then Bloom will be the tiebreaker if it
dear.
comes down to that.
Oh, Bloom, I love you.
So, from our roster of players today, your options are Kriz or 2008,
Mhm.
Koka or Buff 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 Buff, and Kalig.
Ooh.
What do you say, Ben?
I'm trying to remember how many caps we had for Coca, for example. Coca, I know, had 2 first map. Don't know how many he had second, but
Koka had had 2 caps first map and also 2 caps second. Kriz had 2 caps first map and a lot of active offense play, but no caps on second. Your other remaining cap was, I believe, Dutch on second map.
yep. Ooh, this is tough.
It's Calig.
Coca's gonna kill me, but the fact we got 8 caps that quickly, I think Calig has to get it.
Yeah, let's
Although
go, Calig.
Coca did do well.
All right, well, you heard it here first, folks. Our first player chosen player of the game is going to be Kalig. So congratulations to Kalig on a match well played and a good job supporting TV's offense today. So thank you, guys. I think that's going to wrap up our interview here. Would you like to offer any final thoughts before you go?
Go on, Nog, say something dumb.
That was indeed dumb. Thank you.
Very much
Sorry.
appreciated, although I think Dave did it better.
Oh, facts.
Damn.
You can go ahead and kick him from the call now.
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's a
no,
good call.
please.
Yeah,
No,
lovely.
please.
See you guys.
All right, well, I think that about wraps things up. I don't have anything else to close on in particular. Pretty decisive win for TB today, although Fotia did have their moments and keep things competitive, and I think that pickup from a Verge may haunt TB in years to come. So again, congratulations to TB on moving on in the tournament. Congratulations to Fotia on a match well played and a tournament well played overall as well. And we'll see all of you wonderful viewers back next weekend for TB against Delta Force and Annihilation versus Olympus, times to be determined. See you then, and thank you.